So with motor milestones, you've probably all heard of motor milestones or developmental milestones, and children meet different milestones throughout their early childhood. Now, when we're talking about a milestone, this marks the age that most children begin to demonstrate a particular skill. Now, typically, at least sort of in the UK, we're talking about 90% of children. So when we talk about a milestone, it's what 90% of children will have achieved or thereabout. Whereas when we talk about an average, it refers to what 50% of children are doing. So I think it's just important to understand that, because obviously if you're reading different sources about milestones, depending on what they're using, is going to give you a different range. The other thing to add is there's conflicting ranges for milestones, both across the globally, if we look at information from different countries, and then I found different ranges just even on different NHS websites, only ever slightly a month or so out, but there was variances in the ranges for milestones in different places. A big one is that in America, they actually use 75% of children doing something to mark a milestone. So it's different depending on where you are. So just be aware of that when you're looking at milestones. I'd say go to local healthcare providers of wherever you are if you're looking for more information, because there's a lot of information out there on the internet, but it's not always necessarily from the most reliable source. UNICEF do have milestones that they've looked at. It took them 5 years to come up with globally on their website, but I think as well, and they've said it themselves, that there's obviously some downfall to that. They've not actually been able to look at every single culture and country with that, but UNICEF do have some milestones for the early years that they've identified. It's also important to adjust for prematurity. So for any babies born before 37 weeks gestation, we want to make sure we're using the corrected age rather than their chronological age up until the age of 2. So if a baby was born 4 weeks premature, on their first birthday, chronologically they will be 12 months, but actually in terms of milestones, we'd use their corrected age at 11 months, and we'd look very much at that. And meeting milestones is dependent on many factors, so a child's brain development, effective sensory processing, available opportunities to develop and practice their motor skills, their environment, their temperament, cultural factors, which we're going to talk about briefly in a moment, strength, balance, visual perception, which is the ability to perceive the information that's in front of them and understand that for what it is, and also things like hearing and vision as well, or if a child's had any sort of health problems that have impacted their ability to play, they've spent a lot of time in hospital, all of that can have an impact on meeting motor milestones and motor development.